Hey everyone, are you new to programming and looking to get started? Wazoo here with some intro videos on programming concepts to help get the ball rolling. I've built a little Lego figure on the basic pieces that we'll be talking about of software development. So today in this first episode, we're going to start off with output. Let's get going, everyone. Here we are getting started with learning output. So the language we're going to be using is C++, and but like I said in the intro, you can use almost any language. You can use these concepts for working in just about any language, whether that's native development or even web development. A lot of the concepts are the same. So here I am in Visual Studio Community 2019, and I'm just going to create a new project. And I'm going to go with a CMake project, just in case some of you are using something other than Windows. And let's just call this basic output. So this is the basic output of the project generated by Visual Studio, the CMake project. So we've got as you can see over here, we've got a starting CPP entry point, which is our main source code file. We've got a header file, which we're soon going to get rid of, and we've got the cmakelist.txt file, which is our all it contains is some instructions for telling CMake what to do and how to build this file that we're working with. So luckily we don't need to touch pretty much any of that for now, but what I am going to do is I'm going to remove our include and just directly include the IOStream header, and then delete our basic output.h. We don't really need it because we only have really the one header that we're trying to include. C++, C++, just about, well, I don't want to say every programming language, but a lot of them build on a concept of needing to include some kind of references to libraries or packages when you work on some code. And so this is kind of C++'s way of working with it. So we're working with the IOStream header file, and it contains kind of a whole lot of other subfiles that get built or not built, that get included along with our program, so that we don't have to individually include everything. So what we've got here is we're using our namespace std, and if we weren't using this command, then we would have to prepend std and double colons in front of a few different instructions, which for completion's sake, or not completion's sake, but maybe for something a little more precise, maybe that's your preferred coding style, but we're going to leave it as the default of using the namespace std up here, and then that way we can reference anything within that namespace within our program. And this is our little entry point, int main, and then a function always has an opening and closing bracket, and we are going to be working in this episode with cout. So C++, along with a lot of programming languages, use a concept of streams to handle input and output. And if you maybe think of rivers, that's kind of the natural analogy when you hear the word streams, I think, for most people. And so rivers are usually a long, you can imagine sort of a long river, and anything you drop along that point of the river all flows in the same direction. So they flow from the start of the river down to the end, either the lake, the ocean, wherever it is the river is ending up. But the concept there is that anything you drop into the river along the point, they all travel the same direction. And so this is kind of the same thing here. With this cout is sort of the end. I guess it almost works backwards in a weird way, because cout is kind of the end, the exit point of the river. So this would be our lake or our ocean, and then everything else is flowing out to that exit point. So we C++ makes use of double angle brackets, to communicate what stream we're trying to interface with when we're working with something. So here we've got some string, a piece of text, hello CMake, and then ENDL is sort of a special helper for just adding a carriage return. So we're going to output hello CMake, and then we're just going to return 0, which basically, because our function has a declaration of returning an integer, then by the end of the function we are returning an integer, which is 0 in this case. So let's go ahead and run it, and let's see what we get for an output. Hello CMake. Okay, so now let's do something a little bit more fun. Why don't we output our own text? So let's do cout, and then hi, I'm learning output. And we'll end our string there. So when we run our program, what we should see is hello CMake, and then on the next line should be this text, hi, I'm learning output. Let's give it a shot. Cool. Looks like we got it. Okay, let's try something else. And now, just to showcase more of the streams, we can also output numbers without needing to do anything special, convert them into anything. C++ will, and the cout function will do all that for us. So let's output the number 42, and then we can do a mixed string. This is a mixed string of text, mixed output of text, and 34. So let's see what happens there. We've got our hello CMake, we've got hi, I'm learning output, 42, and this is a mixed output of text and 34. Very cool. That's pretty much all I wanted to say about cout. We'll feel free to download this code and experiment for yourself if you want to get yourself a little more familiar with working with output. This is part of our bricks. This is part of the bricks in our Lego person of working with basic concepts. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Give it a like and stay tuned for other videos in this series. Okay, take it easy.